it comes to the discussion on evolution, many people ask, what is the Islamic perspective on that? Do we accept evolution or no? There is more and more evidence that science is showing to us about the process of evolution. That many species, in fact all species on earth, have gone through a process of evolution. What is the Quranic perspective? What is the position of the religion of Islam? I'll mention the following points to clarify what could possibly be the Quranic perspective. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about the creation of the universe, Allah mentions a key fact. Allah says, I've created as-samawati wal-ard, the heavens and the earth. The heavens means the skies, the galaxies, everything you see out there in the universe. I have created them in 6 days. Day in the Arabic language means stage, because before you had this 24-hour day, obviously you didn't have, this day before the sun and the planet. We have 24 hours in our day as a result of the earth's revolution around the sun. Allah says, I created the universe before the sun and the earth in 6 days. So what is meant is 6 stages. And in fact, in some verses of the Quran, Allah tells us what those stages are. Some stages, for example, everything was in a gaseous state. The Quran talks about that. Now, why does God tell us that He created the universe in 6 stages? When Allah says, I'm powerful, if I want something, I say be, and it is. Why? What's the purpose? It seems the Quran is pointing our minds to a process. See, God did not create the universe instantaneously as we see it today. There was a process that got the universe to where it is today. That is the creation of God. God could create things directly, or He could create them through a process, a complex process, a sophisticated process. And which one is more amazing? To have something created directly or through a sophisticated process? Obviously through a sophisticated process. So that in itself could shed light on your question. The Quran could be telling us, look, there is a process. And possibly evolution could be part of this process. When organisms are becoming more and more complex, they're becoming more and more advanced. That could be part of the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What I find troubling is that many of these scientists, just because they believe in evolution, automatically they reach the conclusion, there is no God. Well, how did you reach this conclusion? Okay, reject the idea that God created everything directly and instantaneously. But why reject God? This process still has a creator. This process still has a designer. So we can accept the idea that there is evolution. There's nothing that contradicts the Holy Quran or the Hadith. If there is scientific evidence that a lot of these organisms or all of them went through evolution, we can accept that, no problem. However, I'll mention 2 points over here. First of all, evolution today has been able to demonstrate that within a species, there is evolution. You see species evolving. But for these species to have evolved from other species, this yet has to be confirmed. We still don't know. They make it seem as if this is a fact, but there's no evidence for that really. So we need to just be careful with that. Within one species, yes, or similar species, we see that there is an evolutionary process. But evolution from one species to another completely different species, we still need more evidence for that. We yet do not have that evidence. A lot of people don't know that. Ask them to produce for you one example. Tell them, show me one example of one species evolving into a completely different species. There is no evidence for that. Up till this day, there is no evidence for that. Strong evidence. So that's one point to keep in mind. Number 2, the human being. We can accept that other animals, other organisms, other creatures went through evolution. What about the current human being? First of all, we have verses in the Quran that point to this, and also many hadiths, that before Adam alayhi salam, there were human-like creatures on earth. There were. In fact, the verse that speaks about Allah choosing to create Adam points to this reality. Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs the angel, قَالَ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً, He told them, I plan to create a Khalifa on earth. What was their objection? قَالُوا أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءِ. Oh Allah, are you going to create someone who's going to spread corruption and kill each other? Why did they say that? How did they know what Adam is? They had seen before Adam human-like beings who were killing each other and causing trouble. So they asked Allah, why create another one who's going to do the same? This verse in itself tells us there was a creation before Adam who looked like Adam. And we also have many ahadith from the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them, specifically from Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, that talks about humans who looked like Adam. قَبْلَ آدَمِكُمْ هَذَا أَلْفْ Adam, as one hadith states. In the hadith literature, they are also called the Nasnas. This could be a reference to the Neanderthals, a reference to the Homo erectus, whatever it may be, it's a reference to them. So the religion of Islam does confirm beyond any doubt that you have human-like creatures before Adam alayhi salam. But here's the key question. Did Adam evolve from them, or Allah directly created him? We know that our genes and DNA is very similar to those other creations. Homo sapiens are very similar to the Neanderthals, for example, and other families of the human family. They're very similar. But did we evolve from them? Or did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly create Prophet Adam alayhi salam? What appears from the Holy Quran is that Adam alayhi salam had no parents. Allah directly created him. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in one verse of the Holy Quran, He is responding to the Christian claim that Jesus is God or the Son of God because He has no father. So Allah says, I'll give you an example. Just like Jesus had no father, Adam is like him too. In fact, Adam has no father and no mother. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created him. So we could argue that while the Quran is not explicit about this point, it seems to hint that Adam alayhi salam had no parents. Allah directly created him. So put the human beings on the side where it seems from the Quranic perspective that Allah directly created Adam, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Bani Adam, the children of Adam, through him. But as for other organisms, other creations, we can accept that there's a process of evolution. There's nothing that would defy the Quran or the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them. If there is evidence that there was evolution between all species and that they all originated from one cell or from one organism, if there is evidence beyond doubt, there's nothing in the Quran that would contradict that. That's fine. If there is evidence. We do have evidence for one species, but between the species, we yet have to have evidence.